Hi, Hal here, host of the Big Woods Bucks podcast. We're excited to announce our partnership with the most respected and recognized land company in the Northeast, Christmas and Associates Land Company. Owners Dan and Mark Christmas are two upstate New York natives with deep roots in the Adirondacks and Tug Hill Plateau, as well as two of the most passionate big woods hunters you'll meet. Whether it's newly constructed camp surrounded by state wilderness or family getaway, their team of experienced land guides are the best at matching folks with the perfect land tract at an affordable price. They even provide financing. Christmas Land Guides will provide full land tours using ATVs, snowmobiles, and even snowshoes so that you can scout every acre. Christmas Land and Camp staff also help you construct the camp you've always dreamed of using our in-the-house master builders. For over 35 years, no one in New York State has provided more big buck properties and family hunting camps to hundreds of folks who love the woods than Christmas and Associates Land Company. Dan and Mark and the whole company remain dedicated to wise land conservation and treating everyone they meet like family. Always available 7 days per week, unless there's fresh tracking snow. Call 800-229-7843 or visit Land and Camps on Facebook or go to landandcamps.com. Welcome aboard. Hey, Hal here. Just wanted to tell you we're excited about our partnership with Minus 33. Minus 33 specialized in merino wool base layers for outdoor enthusiasts, from tops and bottoms to hats, socks, gloves. And our gear is going to keep you warm and comfortable no matter what adventure you're on, especially those big woods ones. We're a fifth-generation family, owned and operated, a New Hampshire woolen textile manufacturer. They have over 106 years of woolen expertise, and they started manufacturing woolen socks, the Mountain Heritage ones, in New Hampshire in 2018, with the idea that a quality product, affordable pricing, and can be worn and loved from season to season, no matter what your experience level or skill is, so no one should feel uncomfortable or ill-prepared in the outdoor community. Having a reliable gear is one of the first steps towards a lifetime of passion or whatever activity it is. And my caveat to that is you got to wear your woolies. Cotton is death. To find more about Minus 33 products, there's too many to list, so just click on the link in the description and go to their store and get whatever you need.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine Master Guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-host Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets to big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights in the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, sitting over here in Studio 55 with my co-host, Joe Cruzy.
Hello.
And got a couple of special guests tonight. We're at it's Saturday night, the end of the second week of deer season here. We got a few stories. We got Billy Molls back, see? I invited him out on the last podcast, and here he is, live in person.
I didn't come to go deer hunting. I just came to be here in person on the podcast.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. Yep. And we got Guide Bill again. He's going to fill you in on a little action he had this week.
2 weeks in a row, Bill.
2 weeks in a row, Bill's been on here. Geez,
it's first season.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. It's going to be a popular one there. All the women start watching this stuff there. He won't be single for long. All right. So, anyways, we've had we've had some good times and get into a bunch of deer like we thought we would. And I just started off by saying I've seen more bucks in 2 weeks than I think I've seen the last 2 years. So and I haven't been every day. Been with Ryland 4 days, I think. Me and Ryland been out. And I think after today, we saw 3 today, for sure, confirmed bucks. I think Ryland has seen 9 now. And I think I've seen 11 because I saw 2 one other day. So plenty of bucks around. So anyway, what do you got to say for yourself, Joe? Your client got one right off pretty quick, so you got done early.
Yep. Yeah, he got one Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Which he was sitting. We did have a little snow to start the week.
Yeah, up high.
A little bit up high.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough to tease us a little.
Yeah, but he was more of a sitting groove there. He was more about taking it easy and sitting than trekking up mountains. So found a good spot. Yep. Yeah. Found a good spot. Actually, so Tuesday afternoon I took him into a spot that I've got some good sign, and he sat there for a few hours, and I said, well, I'm going to go. I wanted to find a different place for him for the next day that I knew if he sat all day that he'd be comfortable, get some action, and that he had a lot to look at. Because, if you're sitting looking down one skid trail all day, it can get kind of old. You at least want something to look at. So I walked in and we had some fresh snow. And I got to the spot where I'd been thinking, and I was just trying to find something that was kind of easy off the road. And I walked in, not really being super quiet or anything. Got in there, and I got to where I thought would be a good place to put him. And I happened to look down and saw a fresh buck track in that snow. And I mean, it was like the second I noticed the track and saw it, and I was like, ooh, he's right here. And right when I turned my head, he blew. And a beautiful buck just bounded easily through the wide open hardwoods there.
So you knew it was a good spot.
Yeah, it confirmed it. I wish that buck would have come by for him.
Yeah.
He shot a 5-pointer. He's thrilled. It's his first time up here in the big. Well, he hunted over east of here, but I don't know if I'd call it big woods where he was. He was in a different part of Maine. More.
Do you like it better here?
Yeah, he did. Well, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Except the steep country.
He wasn't too fond of mountains or hills, but had a great time. Loved the food. Commented about the food and how good food was, and just overall camp. It's been a great week.
Yeah,
been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Benji's a lot of action this week, huh?
Yeah.
So we ended up. There's 3 on the pole now. 1 was gone.
I think 5 this week we got.
Killed 5, and they missed. We won't count Billy's. We won't get there yet. Okay, we'll count Billy's.
What about yours?
4.
You didn't even raise your gun up.
4 misses. Well, I didn't shoot.
Nah. Plausible deniability is what
That's
they call
right.
that, Hal.
Yeah. So, Bill, you had a good week this week,
We
huh?
did. Yeah, we did. We see quite a few buck. 5. I think we see 5 buck.
You have a 2-on-1 hunt?
1-on-1.
Oh, 1-on-1. That's right.
1-on-1 this week.
Oh, that's pretty good seeing 5.
Yeah. Yep.
And killed 2 of them, huh?
And we killed 2 of them. We did. Yep. Yep. Thursday, my client got a nice 8-pointer.
Yeah.
And so I had today to myself, and I filled my tag this morning.
Yeah. Just like that.
Just like
no
that.
problem.
Just like that.
What did your clients weigh?
That was 164.
Okay.
Yep. Nice deer. Nice
Yep.
young deer, 2.5-year-old.
And yours was about the same, wasn't it?
Mine's 167.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really nice 2.5-year-old.
another
That was a nice
2.5.
rack for a 2-year-old buck.
Yeah. 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 Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
First doe on the pole. Ben had
Yeah, one of the American plan. Guys had a doe permit, and he shot a doe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't give out many doe tags for this zone, did they?
I'm not sure how many. They don't give a lot, not compared to most, but there might be 300 or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah. You like guiding with us here?
Very good. No, I've had a good time.
Yeah.
Had some great clients, and the food is.
You missed your
great.
opportunity. You're supposed to say, "This sucks. I'm never coming back." You can't let him off that easy,
Well,
Bill.
I might want to come back next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 more weeks I got to live through too. So
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
blow it in those 2 weeks.
that's
Bill.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't be too hard on him. He's the only one stepped up to the plate for 4 weeks.
Oh my God.
Huh?
You're the only one. Bill, go get it, buddy.
Right.
You're the man.
You're the man, Bill.
I think that was my mistake when I said, "Yeah, Hal, whatever you need, whatever you need." He calls me back 2 weeks later and says, "I got you some hunters," and I'm perfect. What week? He said, "All of them." Oh.
Geez, that sounds eerily similar to my first year.
Yeah, be careful what you wish
That's
for.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think it was the second or third day of the first week I came in, and Hal was in there flipping eggs, and I said, "You got me this year, but no more 4-weekers."
Yeah. Well,
But it is fun,
it's good, yeah.
and it's flying.
All
I
right.
can't believe we're halfway through.
No, it has gone fast. It really has.
We haven't had our snow. We had that little bit of snow way up high, enough to tease us, but still waiting. But I might have to get serious on bare ground. Kick Ryland to the curb or something.
You could have had a pretty good one today, huh?
Yeah, yes. Today was another eventful day with Ryland. He's passed up 2 spike horns, and then he finally goes, I don't know if I can do that again. And then, so he said he'd shoot a crotch horn now. So I don't know what the difference is. A spike horn is still a year and a half old, but so today we went to where we did last week. I'll just back up a little bit. We did a hunt last week in down by a river there, and we were just still hunting along. It's been bare ground, and Ryland was going up. It's kind of a point in the river, and we had to go around. It's all blowdowns and stuff, and he went around some blowdowns and up through. It's grass, and it turns into that hazelnut brush, and he's in front of me, and I see him throw his gun up, and I see a flash, and disappeared, and he turned around, and he indicated it had a rack, but it didn't. He said it was just going easy, so I thought maybe it's either stopped or it ran across the point, because the point's only like 50, 60 yards wide. I thought it was going to go maybe across the river, so I said, ease up ahead there, and I started grunting, and we kind of eased up through the brush there, and then he was about 10 feet in front of me, and you couldn't see the river, so we stopped, and just then I was looking. There was some blowdowns, spruce blowdowns, and I knew that's where that buck he saw went, and but I couldn't see anything there, and all of a sudden out he comes, and he runs right back. He didn't want to cross. He went around us, like I think he went 20 yards from me, maybe 25 at the most. But the brush was too high. Ryland could see it, but he couldn't shoot. And I just watched that go by, and I look back towards him, and I see big antlers in them blowdowns. And this great big one comes out. He bounds out, gets out of the blowdowns, and goes right down over the bank. And I'm just watching it, ba-boom, 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 down over. And Ryland's got his gun up, and I don't know what's going on, but he couldn't see it. And he could see every time it jumped, it would come up, but he couldn't. He's too young to know when to shoot like that. So
Yeah.
he didn't
Takes
shoot.
experience.
But it was a big buck. It was over 200 and big rack on it. And then so get back to today, and then me and you went up there too, Billy, up in the same area, because when we went, we didn't see anything, right?
Yep.
That day,
I don't think we saw anything. A lot of
Yeah,
sign.
a lot of sign, and so this was the last day here, and I said, I hadn't taken Ryland since last week, I guess. And so we struck off and we headed kind of in, and I'd kind of coming out the other night. Me and Billy had split up, and I kind of found a different spot, and they're just cutting through. There was a lot of signs, so I told Rylan, let's go back in there. And Billy went up, kind of up closer to the river, and we went up in this. It's a lot of softwood, and it's got some openings, but it's pretty much can't see very far. But anyways, we just getting kind of poking along, and I'm letting him go, and then we got to a spot that I recognized where I had come out the other night, and it was in one of them old roads through the woods, and I could see 2 scrapes. We just got to them scrapes, and there was a little maple opening in front of us, and it looked like a herd of deer took off, and there would end up, it was 4 of them. And the first 2 were crotch horns. They ran across the maple opening, and Ryland's trying to get his gun going, focused. And I saw them, because I saw 4 tails in the beginning, then them 2 went, and then I saw the next one go as a doe, and then when I looked back, because I knew there was another one, and that was the big one, and he was even bigger than the one we saw last week, and I had snorted at him, and he stopped down in kind of, there was a blow down, he was in some thicker stuff, and Ryland had swung his gun in there, and he had his gun up, and he didn't shoot, and I couldn't see it. After the fact, he said he could see the antlers and a little bit of the neck, but he wasn't sure about shooting. It was probably 75 yards, and I said, well, he's got to cross that same opening, and I kind of pulled him aside so he could see that opening, and then when the buck went, he didn't step ahead. He went, but he didn't go in the opening like the other ones. He kind of angled down and stayed in a little bit more cover, and he didn't shoot it. He didn't shoot that time either. But so, anyways, we had a little action today.
So you and Billy went for what, 3 days early in the week?
We hunted 4, then we took a day off, and then went today. We took Friday off. Billy needed to do his therapy, get your back in shape.
Getting old, Hal.
Yeah.
trying to keep up with you.
Yeah. I got boots your age. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, and I got a knee that's bothering me in the hip on the same side, and we climbed around the mountains in that snow there for 2 days, and that was a little rough, but that's where your story comes in.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Teeing it up here.
Yeah. Well, I've it's kind of funny being from Wisconsin, hunting whitetails my whole life. I think this is perhaps the most underrated hunt in all of North America, maybe even the world. This is incredible. I mean, I had a pretty good idea what this was like, but until you're here and you experience it for yourself, I suppose it's like a lot of things in life, you really don't get it. But yeah, just once we got some snow and started tracking, and it's I don't really know how to put it in really to describe it, but other than just to start, you're a good teacher, Hal. Like, first day you're kind of just pointing things out, what to look for, how the deer move. And the difference is, one thing I learned right off the bat is I've got to unlearn how I would typically hunt, because I'm always hunting with my head up. I'm rarely looking down. And so that was something that was different. And then once we got snow, we were walking alongside of this road, and there's a clearing. You come to this rare clearing, and so I'm totally scoping out this clearing, and then all of a sudden Hal spots this track, and I'm like, that was on my side of the road. I should have been the one to spot that. Hal's like, I wasn't going to say anything. He said, but I bet you were too busy looking at that clearing. And I said, yeah, because it looked like a perfect spot for a deer to be. But then we get on this track, and it gets down in the bottom. We're moving around, then it goes up on a hill, and different buck tracks are intersecting. Of course, the whole time Hal's teaching me, how to identify tracks, and I'm asking a bunch of questions. And long story short, we're going up, down, and around. And then it's getting late in the day, and all of a sudden we're in this melee of tracks down in the bottom, and Hal's sorting it out. and we knew we had a buck and a doe, and there was a couple other bucks that seemed to be coming in and out of these tracks. And so we get up to this clearing, and Hal told me when I asked him, I'm like, well, what's a far shot? And Hal's like, I've shot one, maybe two bucks over 100 yards in all my life. And I'm like, okay. So I got my grandpa's old Savage 303 with open sights, and which I've shot 5 times in my life. And it's the only rifle I had without a scope on it. And we're nearing the edge of this clearing, and Hal, again, he's just sorting out the tracks. So I'm just kind of looking, and all of a sudden I see a flash, and I think I saw the doe right away too. I saw 2 deer, and I could see the one was a buck, and it's going, we had a bunch of brush, real spruce trees close to us, and this buck's going up in this open clear cut, and I distinctly remember it's going through my mind. It's like, man, that buck's a long ways away. But I remember Hal saying, if you draw blood, we'll find him. So I lean up against a spruce tree, and I'm grunting at the buck to try to get him to stop, and he stops broadside. I guessed him at 150, and I put my front sight on him, pretty much centered the front sight on his shoulder because it probably covered the shoulder, maybe even a little bit more, and touched it off, and boom, no report. And then all of a sudden, here comes another one out of the brush, and that was a big one. The first one, I could tell it was like at least a 2.5-year-old. I could see main beam and at least one fairly long tine. And all of a sudden, that thing steps out, just big shoulders, just big blocky, big buck. I don't even know what I couldn't even guess what it had for antlers, but it had big antlers. That thing jumps out at 100 yards, stops broadside, and all I could do was sit there and watch. I was 95% sure that I missed the one on top, but I figured the last thing I could do is dump 2 bucks here. So all we could do is just sit there and watch it run out of our lives forever. So yeah, that was it.
And I'm playing guide/cameraman. I'm thinking afterwards it all happened. He stopped broadside with the doe, and they're looking back because Billy had been grunting at the other one. And then they just bound off. And at first I go, why didn't I get the camera out? And I'm like, why didn't I shoot that buck? I never even picked my gun up. And I don't know why. I was in that mode. I wanted Billy to get a buck, and I wasn't even thinking about I was hunting. It was the craziest thing. So anyways, he lives another day.
Yeah. Yeah, we look for blood, and yeah. And
That's a great way to start, though. I mean, doesn't beat that, You can't beat having an opportunity like that. But then, I mean, what you said is a lot of guys probably might have taken this, especially if they were alone. There's probably some people that would take a shot at that second buck thinking they missed the first one.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do not to. You can't. It's just... And as a deer hunter, you hope you never find yourself in that situation because it hurts even more probably. But you had a great experience, and you were probably waiting for Hal to pick his gun up and shoot it anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was good.
So that's kind of listening to that one too. After all of our talk about the number of multiple bucks that we've seen together this week.
Yeah.
And then I got a picture this afternoon that had 2 nice bucks in the picture together, like they're traveling. That was 2 days ago. Yep. It just seemed a little odd that there's so many bucks still paired up.
It's because there's so many bucks now. I've seen twice a young buck and a big buck, and then today it was 2 young bucks and a big buck. And I don't think in all the time I've hunted here I've ever seen more than once 2 bucks together during deer season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially this time of the season.
The bucks are running amok here.
Yeah. Now when Ben Allen, he saw a giant buck today.
Yeah.
And Ben's seen some bucks, so when he was shook by it.
Yeah, he said it was a giant.
He was like, it was wide, it was tall, it was heavy, it had everything. Yeah. And that's Ben not getting having a tough time getting a deer on the ground.
Yeah.
He does his job for sure.
Yeah, we try not to ride him too hard, but it ends up being, well, it's just the way things happen.
It's tough.
Yeah, he said some in the years past, some of the guys miss him and wound him, and today the guys just didn't get a shot.
Weren't able to get a shot. And it is. Yeah. I mean, it's so easy when you're in the woods and there's 2 or 3 people for one person to see everything and be able to take that shot, and the other guys sometimes not even see it. If you're
That's right.
10 feet away or whatever. I mean, it just happens so fast.
Yeah.
It's that's why I love every time hunters with guides come back, because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
For 2 guys to go out, and it's not like a bear hunt where you're sitting someone in a stand.
Yeah. That's why I tell everybody it's not twice as hard, it's 4 times as hard to get one with 2 guys together, whether it's a client or a cameraman or something, whatever. It's hard. So you had a good time, Billy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like the Alaska of whitetail deer hunting. You have the remoteness, you have the vastness, the isolation. You go out, you hunt all day. Not a deer around every bush like some people might think, but I love the camaraderie. I love the simplicity. I love the purity of it. I think every deer hunter owes it to themselves, if at all possible, to experience it for themselves. And just getting a taste of the tracking, now I understand you guys don't just do it to do it. Like, you do it because that's the best means of killing a big buck here. I mean, today we're trying to do a little still hunting. We had a little bit of rain that first day. I could see how that could be very effective, and I'm sure guys could do it on days like today, but it was a lot more crunchy. You really have, like, I love bear hunting, in Alaska, because I figured that really tests all gamuts of your skill set. Where you're hunting here, it's so weather dependent on how you're going to, I would believe, most effectively hunt. There's probably a time for sitting, a time for still hunting, a time for tracking. And so you really have to be consistently successful here. I believe you'd have to be a very well-rounded hunter.
Yeah.
And, another thing too is we always talk about the mild winters contributing to the deer herd growing, but not having snow makes a huge difference too to the deer herd growing, because you think about how many of these bucks would be dead if we had snow.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, I got to believe, I don't know what the numbers are. I haven't seen them bishops. Maybe you have, but there's no doubt that it's saved a pile of deer the first 2 weeks not having tracking snow everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
but
go ahead, Al. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying they're still tagging a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen the numbers. Is it?
I think it's somewhere around 60.
60?
Yeah, 60 down to Bishops.
So that would be actually at the end of the second week is probably lower than the last couple of years, because last year we had the snow the first week, because last year they tagged 200. So I got to think 60 would be way less than half,
Right.
So, but I think there's Thanksgiving week, they kill a lot too, because all the locals are hunting and the mill shuts down and there's more of those hunters. But yeah.
Looks like looking now, it looks maybe like snow at the end of next week and going into the Thanksgiving week. Yeah. So
I hope so.
Yeah. That could turn it on for sure.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, I think we ought to have Steve White come over here and tell us what he thinks about hunting here. He's a seasoned vet here at Big Woods Outfitters.
The seasoned American plan now.
Yeah, he's done it all.
For anyone that didn't hear that, he said everything but kill a deer.
Yeah. Hey, Hal here. I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with OnX Hunt. I've been using it for a while now, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm not a very techie person, but the OnX app is it's a real time saver. I remember the days when we poured over topo maps everywhere we was going to go and stuff, and I don't do that quite as much anymore. where it's really helped me is scouting, whether it's deer scouting, a moose, or even turkey hunting in the spring, which I do. It really helps out. I don't have to spend as much time running around the truck burning up the gas. I'm just basically using my OnX. Got it on my phone. Don't even carry a GPS anymore. So I just download the areas where I'm going to be hunting, whether it's up north moose hunting, and I use it mostly on the satellite imagery. I like to see the cuts and the clearings and the turkey hunting, the hidden fields and stuff. But everybody's using it now, from the game wardens to land surveyors, and just a great tool. And with our partnership with OnX, if you use a code BWB, you're going to receive 20% off on your first premium or elite memberships. And you just go to onxmaps.com/hunt. You'll be glad you did. Good luck on the trail.
As you all know, Big Woods Bucks is devoted to promoting the best equipment for tracking and still hunting the big woods. Part of that equation for success is the sights that sit on your hunting rifle. We've chosen Skinner Sights as the company to produce our custom-built BWB Tracker Series peep sight. It's constructed of solid steel, has our custom ghost ring, and was co-developed by some of the best trackers in the world. To get yours, go to bigwoodsbucks.com and click on the Optics tab.
Pine State Armory in Skowhegan is your ultimate destination for hunting and outdoor gear. Located at 338 Madison Avenue, we're more than just a store, we're family. Nick and Jess and their friendly dogs, Bailey and Ruby, are always ready to greet you. Pine State Armory is a family-friendly store where safety meets expertise. Your kids are always welcome. And if you're new to the sport, we're here to help with gear recommendations and the knowledge and information you need to get started right. Looking to buy, sell, or trade firearms, whether new or used, we have what you need. And to those who serve our country, we're proud to offer a military discount as a token of our appreciation. Visit us today at Pine State Armory, 338 Madison Avenue, Unit 8 in Skowhegan, and experience the great outdoors like never before.
Hey folks, Rick Labby here from Big Woods Bucks. I'm here today to tell you about our new packs. This is our new small pack, which the first time I saw it, Chris showed it to me and I said, that's the nooner, because that's the perfect pack if I'm getting on a buck track at noon. And it'll hold a sandwich, your water, a little bit of gear. It's virgin wool, made in USA, waterproof resistant, has a liner on the inside. It's a great pack. This pack, this is our newest large pack, which when I used to carry the older pack, I always wore suspenders because it bothered my hips a little bit. So we designed one with shoulder straps, and this is a great pack. It takes the weight off your hips, puts it onto your shoulders. It's got a GPS pouch right here in the top you slide in. Same deal, it's water resistant on the inside, got that liner. It's a perfect pack. So I go to bigwoodsbucks.com, get yours today, and I'll see you on the track.
Hey, Hal here. Finally got some good news for all you. Our jackets are finally in. It's been a long process, but we got them done and got them right with all our new features and stuff in them. So some of the new features we added was a game pouch in the back you can access from inside with dividers in it. It's just like the original one. Mine's the original one, not the new one. Got your slash front pockets where you can get in and get at your GPS or whatever you carry in your front ones. They're all lined with, the pockets are lined with Microtech fleece, so it's nice and warm on your hands when you put it in. Microtech's fleece. Got your slash pockets here. Just 100% wool, virgin wool. I think it's 100% virgin wool, but it's 80% 5% wool with some nylon to make it stronger. Tight woven. And the vest, I don't have the vest on it. The vest snaps on, your orange cape comes with it. And we're going to have the green checkered jackets come in 22-ounce wool. And we have plain green, forest green, same color as our pants that are coming. And those are in 18-ounce, a lighter wool, so you can have a 3-season jacket or a 4-seasons jacket. And the pants will be coming in a couple weeks, and just in time for deer season. So get them ordered up, and we'll get them shipped right out to you. Good luck on the trail.
So,
Sit right down here, buddy.
is this year 5, Steve?
Look, we got matching shirts and everything.
I got the uniform. Sorry. What's that?
Is this year number 5 for
Year
you?
number 5.
So, Steve went with me for 2 years, and I couldn't
Couldn't help.
put him on a buck.
Couldn't
So
help him any.
I can't rag on him too much, right? But I taught him enough that he could spread his wings a little bit and go on his own.
Yeah.
Grasshopper.
And
Grasshopper, yeah.
what I love about Steve's story is, number one, he's how many years has it been you've been hunting overall?
Since 1986, so 30, how's the math, 38?
38 years.
Is that, no? Yeah, that's about right.
And
Off and on, but for most days.
he hasn't got his buck yet. But this, don't cry, Steve. But this is,
See, but he'll sit right here and face the camera.
yeah.
Because
I love it.
Because he
Beats
loves
my
to
children
hunt.
when I go home.
He just wants proof he's been coming home for 38 years without a deer. He wants actual proof that he's going to hunting camp.
What I enjoyed the last 5 minutes was everyone saying how hard it is to shoot a deer up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
been a long time.
I totally respect Steve's stance on it, because I did tell him a couple of years ago, I said, we can go down an hour south of here where I'd never say guaranteed, but there's a lot more deer and it's a lot easier to kill one down there. And I said, we can go down there if you want. He said, nope, I want to do it in the big woods. I want to do it up here the hard way. And so he almost got it done this week.
Yeah. Let's hear your story this week, Steve.
Well, last year was the closest I've ever come until this year. It gets better every year. Last year, Hal sent me to a place, and if you don't mind, Hal,
You're going to give the coordinates?
you get down this cut, and you take a right on this road, and you loop back, and you come into this opening through the whippets, and there's a birch bench, and sit on that birch bench right there. So I get out to I was proud of myself. I actually got to the place where he said to go. The problem was there were like 5 different birch benches.
Now, when you're saying birch bench, you mean like a blow-down birch?
Blow-down,
that
yeah.
you're saying?
Log,
Okay.
yeah. Blow
log.
down. Yeah.
All right.
Birch log.
So sit in this one. So I had to narrow down to 2. And I sat in the one on the right. And I sat there for maybe half an hour. And a buck comes grunting in with a doe on the other side of these fir trees. And so I had no view. I knew it was a buck. I saw some YouTube videos that showed me what. And they took off. And so I took a picture of my seat just to show how I made it to the spot. And I got back to the lodge, and I showed him the picture. He goes, "That's not where I told you to sit. I told you to sit on that one," which was like exactly where the deer came out, which was amazing.
Don't you know with Hal, it's always going to be your fault, Steve?
He was right, though. I have to admit, I just chose the wrong one. But the amazing, the direct. Anyway, so flash forward to this year, and as you got, Monday was a tough day. It was rainy, snowy. It was just I was I was very out of shape when I got here. I considered how I was the first couple of years. And I went up to Powder Puff Ridge there.
That's what it's forever known as now.
See, I learned a few things from you guys.
Yeah, you're picking
But
up.
I'm happy to tell anybody where this is because don't ever go there because I scared every buck on the planet out of there. So I get up there and I got a little turned around in the rain and my Onyx wasn't working because my phone was wet and all this other stuff. I ended up hiking way longer than I should. Didn't sit. And so I chalked it up as just a day in the woods. And the next day I went up probably around, I guess I got out of the truck at 6:30. It's about a mile hike up to where I was going to branch off and sit for a couple hours because I thought it would be a good sitting day. But it was blowing and raining, and it was actually fairly quiet. And I got probably 3/4 of the way up where I was supposed to go. And I looked at my Onyx. It's like 168 yards to where I'm going to go in. It's funny how you remember that number. And I look up, and there's a buck walking right across the trail, the road.
How far?
Well, let's put it this way. I was going to explain to you, Hal always talks about whippets. I'm like, what's he talking about whippets? Well, I know from walking up that trail what whippets are now, but the head of the deer was just above these. They were 3 or 4 foot high. So it was a good-sized deer, probably an 8-pointer. And at first I was telling everybody it was 35 yards. I think it was more like 20. 25.
The truth comes out.
He's in confession again.
And he is a good Catholic boy.
And I instinctively pulled my gun up and took a shot. And I shot at it, and I think I must have hit it to the right because it turned around and ran back where it came from.
You mean missed it to the right?
Yeah, I shot to the right and hit it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hit the shot hit to the right of the deer.
He hit the whippets.
Yeah. I actually think it hit a rock. And it turned around and ran the other way. So I pulled the gun up and I pulled my sight up and it was foggy. I really couldn't see anything, but I sort of gave it my best shot and fired away. And in a matter of seconds, it was over. I mean, like, holy crap, that was amazing. The adrenaline. But I didn't think twice about shooting. But I really don't know if I took the time to slow it down, put the scope on, get right behind the shoulder because I didn't think the opportunity was going to present itself, so I shot.
Happens quick, huh?
It does. You guys always say it did. And
It takes a second.
so it took off, and I walked around down the trail, tried to see if there's any blood, sat for an hour, see if I could, generate some activity or whatever, and I in-reached Joe. I said, I took some shots, and he goes, are you sure you missed? I'm like, oh, no. Maybe I didn't miss. So I went back and backtracked and sort of checked some stuff out, and I don't think I had a chance to hit it the way it transpired. So that was kind of what happened, and I walked down the hill pretty dejected. I mean, that was like probably the best opportunity I've ever had. I mean, 25 yards or whatever.
Yeah, you're probably never going to get a chance like that again. You ought to just give up, Steve.
So it was pretty tough. I texted my wife, and of course I said, I missed a really nice deer, about an 8-pointer, and of course it was a family text. And I said I was really close, like 25 yards, and my daughter says, yeah, well, they're not afraid of you, so of course you got that close. But it was really awesome. I mean, the adrenaline actually felt pretty good coming down there. I was just a little disappointed in myself for not slowing it down.
But that just goes back to experience is everything, right? I mean, sometimes you can get lucky and it happens easy and it's right there. But every time you get a little bit closer, you'll calm yourself down a little bit more. You won't get, but man, it happens to everyone, Steve. Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not for 38 years, but
the past 5 years have been unbelievable because as I told you, I sat every day. In fact, I was telling Ben, my roommate, that I got pretty good at sitting. I felt like I was reliving those memories today because I sat for 7 hours. But you're not really generating activity if you're just sitting. You're sort of waiting and seeing if something's going to happen. You can actually be proactive. I listen to Hal all the time. It's just you get on a track or you read the sign and you can move and make things happen for yourself more than just waiting.
It's a tough call right now, though. If it's wet and rainy and windy, then it's an easy call. You're still hunting because that's going to be in my opinion, that's the best day next to having fresh snow. But when it's cold and crisp and these leaves, they had a lot of moisture and then they freeze. And I mean, in my opinion, sit. I know Hal can't sit and he likes to move, but
Walk like a deer.
Yeah. and cornflakes. That's what I call them today.
Run a little bit, walk like a deer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think when you said, oh, I geez, hope it's going to rain, hope it's windy, I'm like, man, that sounds miserable. But the truth is that those, if you're not going to have snow, to me, those are ideal conditions. Because your feet are a little softer.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes a huge difference, yeah. The wind's giving you a lot of cover.
So I think you're one of them guys that I talk about that you either love it or you hate it in the big woods, right?
Yeah.
Where you at?
You know where I am. I told you guys the first year, actually I was on the podcast, and I said, I'll never not do this. And I listened to Billy talk, and I'm like, it's completely underrated. We live in the suburbs of Boston, and my friends are like, why don't you stick around here and shoot a deer?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with goose hunting or whatever up here. It's different. It's spatial. There's less density of the deer or whatever it is, and
the hunters.
Well, yeah, but this year I've sworn off a certain part of the area for next year. I'm never going back again. I actually saw a hunter this year. No.
You saw a hunter? Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's less hunters, and the vastness and the challenging of, like Billy and I were talking at dinner the other night, where getting outside of your comfort zone. I don't think you might appreciate it, but we live in a very dense area where hiking is on a conservation commission piece of land where you walk 500 feet and there's a little pond and you can walk around and get your steps or whatever. You get up here.
Did you get your steps in this week, Hal?
Yeah, we got some steps.
Yeah, but it's It's amazing. I was watching Billy as the week progressed, and I don't know the first time I've ever met you, Billy, and I love you to death. Actually, you're a great guy. I could see in his
drunk.
No.
Hey, what's in your coffee cup, Billy? You're the one talking.
It's empty.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm off my topic, but it's just you get outside your comfort zone, and I did every year I come up, I get further and further outside my comfort zone because Joe, you sort of said, you sort of taught me the ropes, and rely less on the technology, understand your surroundings and stuff. And yeah, I got a little bit lost the other day, but I felt comfortable enough to know I was going to figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's conversation we were having earlier, you, Billy, and I, about just people that come up here and what they expect and how they take it all in. And your attitude when you come here from the beginning is you don't just come here just to kill a deer. You're soaking in everything. You have to appreciate everything up here. And I think a lot of people up here sometimes take it for granted just because we're in it all the time. Yeah. We see it every day. But I mean, I was walking off the mountain the other morning. I had left my client there in a spot, and I was coming down, and the trees were full of snow, and the sun was just coming up. And I sent my wife a text with a picture, and was just like, how great is this? I mean, that we can experience this. And it's great killing a big buck or any deer, the accomplishment, but it doesn't mean that you didn't have a great season if you don't.
You have to enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
The journey is probably the most important part, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Because a higher percentage of guys are definitely going home without a deer.
Yeah.
But everyone's clamoring to come back every year.
Yep.
Yeah. It's about the hunt. The hunt, you just take in the hunt and enjoy that. And if the cards line up, good Lord's willing, bring your deer, right?
I think, Steve, your story is one that the hunting world needs more of, because you're here for all the things that aren't like glitzy, glamour, and sexy, right? You're here because you love it. You're here for the simplicity of it, and you're here for the challenge. And you're not trying to impress anybody. You're just here for you and to experience the big woods, and that's it. Like where I live in Wisconsin, and that's what I love about it is like you guys are here just to shoot a buck, and like somebody gets a whatever we had 5 or 6 pointer the other night, like everybody files out of the lodge and congratulations. There's no, oh, he'd have been a good one next year kind of a thing. You know, it's just so pure and simple. It's what I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're this perseverant, like I'm legitimately inspired, and it's like caused me to maybe like take a step back and just remember, like, that's cool. That's why we're here. Psalms 46:10, be still, know that I am God. And you spend any time in the Maine Northwoods, you're going to be still, right?
Are you drunk, Billy?
No.
Nope. No, and so this is something that's really cool to me is like Steve's here. He's a guy from the city. Total appreciation of what we have to offer. And here's Billy and all of that, a guy that's been guiding in Alaska for 25 years, right? Yep. So pretty cool, you know, and it's what hunting's all about. I think Billy made a great point just now, and it is something that I think sometimes we take for granted when we're in the lodge and everyone's gathered, but when that truck pulls in and we know that someone sent a message and there's a deer coming, it's like a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's running out to the pole and it's what hunting's all about. And I was watching your you just released one of your videos, which I don't even know, did we mention Modern Day Mountain Man? Did we mention the name of the channel? Billy's channel is Modern Day Mountain Man, which is an excellent YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. But
don't forget to subscribe. Right, Billy?
Thank you, Hal.
Hit the button, Hal. Hal, hit the like button.
Yeah.
No, it's you hit the like and you got to ding the bell.
I'll pimp you later. Thanks, Hal.
But you're and I actually meant to ask you about it earlier, but watching that, and I just was able to watch like the first 10 or 15 minutes, but man, you have some great footage from back in the day.
Oh yeah, so that was my grandpa, you know, and that was the rifle I'm using is 303 Savage. That's what I'm using. So it's the first time I've ever used it.
I mean, you've got a ton of footage from your family hunting back then. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah, that was all my grandpa, and I believe he's part of the reason why, I know he's a big part of the reason why I do what I do is, like, he grew up with an old, I don't know, whatever it was, 8mm big old camera, and he'd go trapping up in the Northwoods of Wisconsin and hunting, and he'd film all that stuff. So, I don't know. I think that had a big play into what I did. He lived he lived life on his terms. And one of the cool things, you know, we were talking about the people that you meet in these hunting camps. Like, I was a farm kid from Wisconsin when I first went to Kodiak Island, and, you know, I wanted to become a guide because I figured I'd never be able to afford to go hunting these places any other way. And then this guy says something, you know, people talk about how can you afford to go on a $15,000 brown bear hunt, but they don't understand it's not the $15,000 I'm spending on this hunt. It's $250,000 I'm losing in my business when I'm up here for 2 weeks. Yeah. And I was like, what? $250,000, like, that's what you work your whole life for, you know? Yeah. And so it just changed your perspective. And so when you come up here and you just meet different people, the camaraderie, and like you said, how you have deer at your home. You could shoot one out your window, but yet you go to the Northwoods where there's, 10% the deer of what you have at your home, and then you go there and hunt, or like hell, feeding the deer in the wintertime. Like, people don't understand that hunters why we do it. Right. We're not doing it to kill the animal. We're doing it for all these other things. And just to have the camaraderie and to share that stuff, that's what I love. And that's the simplicity of it. Like my grandpa, he definitely inspired me for sure.
Yeah, we've all had people my in-laws, I was blessed to marry into a great family, and I'm the city kid, and my wife's got 5 sisters, and so I ended up having 5 brother-in-laws and a father-in-law that loved to hunt.
Oh, great.
All anxious to teach me and get me into the woods and teach me. And then you reminisce about, I was listening to Billy talk, and just the little things like the wood stove at the house, and my mother-in-law gets up and cooks me breakfast at 5 a.m, and when I come back in the evening, she's waiting in the window to see if I got a deer. And every year it's like, next year, Steve, like the Red Sox.
Next year, Steve.
Even the Red Sox got it done at one point. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The Allman Brothers wrote a song about you, you know.
What is it?
The Whipping Post.
But I love about you, Hal.
I was hoping he was going to say rambling man, but he didn't go there.
Hal will whip everybody when he comes in, but it's always about the dessert at the end of the day. Steve, so sorry you missed, but there's some chocolate cream pie over there. Make it feel better.
He's like a pusher, isn't he? Oh.
I got to say one thing about Hal Blood. If anybody's ever seen The Gray Ghost, I don't know if this is like some part of the engine that makes it do this, but Hal drives faster on the back roads than he does the highway. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that in Jackman.
Yeah.
What is the speed limit on 201, by the way?
55.
Yeah, if you have a Massachusetts plate, if you have a Maine plate, what is it?
70.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be 100 miles an hour down that road.
This morning would have got you, though, because it was icy this morning. That was one of those ones that would sneak up on you.
Is that funny? You must have got that rain down here. We didn't get it.
Yeah. But
so you did a lot of filming, too, this week, Billy. That was one of your...
Yeah.
When you came, you decided not to bring a cameraman and just do it yourself, right?
Yeah. Yep. So plan was to bring a cameraman, and I'm really glad that I did. I called Hal before. I'm like, you know what? I think I just want to come. 'Cause number one, I knew it was a different kind of filming, and this is a hunt that I'm not used to. And number one, I learned a ton. Like just shadowing you, Hal, for a few days, I figure you cut years off of my tracking curve for sure. But filming in Alaska is different because I kind of know what to expect, right? And I also kind of find that, you know, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And if you're trying to film and learn and hunt and do too much, you kind of do nothing. You know, we were talking about like combination hunts. A lot of times you try to do too many things and nothing really works out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when I was trying to guide and film, so I didn't bring my gun up.
No, yeah, well, that's kind of about right. But there was so much to learn. I mean, I've hunted a fair bit. I've hunted deer a lot. But this is totally different. Like I said, if you're hunting the Midwest and you're tree stand hunting, this is very, very different. And it's a lot to take in and to grasp. And even today, I learned on a day like today, I needed to be wearing the rubber boots rather than my hard-soled hiking boots. You know, you've just been much quieter. But yeah, there was too much. I had way too much to learn that I didn't really have much right to pull out a camera too often. And to get it done, man, like I had a grunt call that was kind of like, you know, didn't really know what to do with it. And like, I just keyed in off a Hal of what he was wearing in the morning. So the roles were very much reversed for me, you know, as to, and trust the guide, right? And I noticed a couple of times my grunt call, when I'd hit some brush, it'd make a little noise because it was kind of sticking out. And I realized, like, well, if I'm going to take this seriously, I can't be getting away with that. You know, you got to put everything in your favor. And, yeah, that was awesome week.
And you got to wear your woolies, right?
Wear your woolies. I'm like, and I've worn wool for 15 years probably. Not so much on the outer layers, but it is amazing. And I know wool is unbelievable, but it is amazing how we start out in the morning, you're wearing the exact same clothes. We never took anything off throughout the day. Obviously, you can control that if you're moving a little bit, but yeah, it's unbelievable how well that you moderate your temperature with wool.
Yeah.
And that was 45 degrees some days, and I think we had 15 or 17 one day, and I had the same outfit every day, and never got cold, never got hot.
Yep. Breathes good, and it's warm.
It's quiet.
Yeah,
I learned the first day I didn't bother putting my pants over the outside of my boots.
Oh.
And I was walking up making all sorts of noise. So the next day I made sure that I put them over the boots.
The other thing with that too is that it was wet that day, right? Yeah. So you eventually it seeps down your leg and into your boot, and then it got in your sock, as opposed if you go over it. So
yeah, there's a lot of noise though, obviously, with those things whipping against the rubber.
So can we expect some kind of a film on modern day mountain man coming up about big woods hunting?
Yeah, well, I think I don't know. I think we need an encore, Hal. I don't know if you'll have me back, but I definitely I think I see a trust the guide episode out of this for sure. I learned a lot. Yeah, it's pretty humbling to be here, have an opportunity to come and experience a place like this, get an invite from yourself, and yeah, pretty humbled, and I appreciate the opportunity to be in camp with each and every one of you guys.
Yeah, well, you got a standing invite, you know, so next year if you want to plan it, come on back.
I would love to, and I do believe, Hal, you and Deb have an incredible story.
Oh, yeah. She'll tell you that.
Yeah, well,
She has been telling you.
I mean, and I'm sure people probably have a pretty good idea, but you know, the sacrifice to get to where you are, it's kind of crazy. Like, you know, when we were talking at your place is, you know, what you went through for 30 years. I don't know how, I've never heard you really share that, and maybe you have, but all the sacrifices that you've made for 30 years to kind of get to the point where now you can, you know, to some degree, just go out and hunt. You know, like you were talking, flipping the eggs, doing the guiding and the cooking and the packing and, you know, and do all that stuff. Guiding's a tough business, and it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, it gets tougher when you get older, too. You'll see.
He already is seeing.
Well, I feel old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Ryland's licking his chops to get going on guiding. I was talking
Oh,
to him
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
4 seasons.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to be good at it, too.
He is. I watch him walk through the woods, and I'm like, he's stealthy.
Kid's got the goods.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes he's still, you know, but everybody is, you know, not picking quite the right way. You know, I'll say try to stay on these. And I know I call it a deer trail, but it might just be 3 tracks I can see punched along. Right, Billy?
I can attest a deer trail. I haven't seen a deer trail in 3 days. I saw a shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's going to be good. Yeah. He's got it planned out. He's getting his driver's license next year. And see, next year he turns 16 in September, so he can hunt on his own next year. See, at 16 is in Maine when you can start to, you know, go on your own. So he's got that all planned out.
Yeah. Well, Billy, I'm glad you took Hal up on the invite and came out and checked out what it was all about. We talked about it after, and we said, yeah, he'll like this kind of hunting, we think. So
Yeah.
it was, I'm kind of like the same way. If I get invited somewhere, don't invite me unless you want me to come, really, because I'm coming. You know, like I don't pass up opportunities like that, and I'm glad you didn't, because it was a great week. And now you got something to work for next year. You get a deer. Maybe you and Steve will shoot in the same week next year. Who knows?
We're going to have that old Milwaukee.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good goal. It's a good fitness goal for people, too, actually. You think they underestimate the terrain and the
Yeah,
the
for
endurance
sure.
required for the week. I'm exhausted now, but at the middle of the week, I started feeling better, and then towards the end, you just get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I have noticed this year, I was going to mention, Joe, is the guys we tell on American Plan, you know, we've been telling them, you know, when I send the thing out, I said, if you know, the arrival letter, if you bring your, you know, if you have Onyx, I said, we can just get your pin and get you started. And I think everybody has their Onyx now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Billy got it before he come out, and it's a pretty handy tool, huh?
It's legitimately amazing. It makes it way easier, and it gives you a lot more confidence. And like what you've been doing with some of the guys is just give them a starting point. I mean, how beneficial is that for them? It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I say something to that? Because I know we talked to a lot of the guys, and I heard you talking to somebody earlier about, you know, what you should just ask. And ever since I've been here, you guys have been more than willing to share spots with people. You come up here, we only have a week to hunt, so you don't have any time to scout and look around. And I'll tell you right now, everything you put me on has been.
You like them signposts?
Yeah. Outstanding, but it's just haven't worked out. But so I agree with you. I mean, very helpful. It's you come up here sort of blind. Some of these guys don't really know the area, and you're more than gracious enough to share.
Yeah, we got to make sure to get Stuart in some spots next year too.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he didn't have some.
He's just shy. He's real quiet. Stays, you know, he
Yeah, it does this thing, but he's been here since the first year.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
long timer.
Yeah, we got a bunch of long timers. So anyway, well,
Yeah.
it's been a good podcast. I've been having fun here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got to get my beauty rest.
Get all day tomorrow, Hal.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably have to get up, cook Billy breakfast again in the morning, see him off.
Yeah, you do miss the 4:00 breakfast, Billy. If we're here pretty early, it's a little different atmosphere in the morning.
Yeah, that's a little quieter.
Different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. We'll wrap it up, and we'll try to have another update at the end of the season, Joe.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
good.
we'll wait 2 weeks and do it all.
Do it all Thanksgiving weekend.
All right.
Until next time, good luck on the trail. Thanks for being here, Billy.
Thanks for having me, Hal.
All right.
Thanks for being here, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Hal.
Thanks for being you, Steve.
You too, Billy.
I love you, man.
Good night, Joe boy.
Hi, everyone. Team member Mark Sheeran here. Are you or someone you know struggling with a drug or alcohol problem, but you don't want to go to rehab or 12-step meetings? Well, that's exactly why we created our non-12-step Freedom Model Coaching Program. In our program, you can be coached by me and Michelle Dunbar through our in-house 2-day addiction solution workshop, or if you want to stay home, you can be coached through video conferencing on Zoom. Both options are powerful and proven effective. We've personally coached more than 27,000 people over the last 34 years. With the Freedom Model, you won't have any record of being treated for an addiction either. This is a huge benefit for those with professional licenses, or who are high profile, or simply who have a lot to lose with such a damaging label. If you're ready to change your life and solve your addiction for good, call me directly at 888-424-2626 and set up your free 30-minute coaching session today. I look forward to helping you. And here's that number again, 888-424-2626. Take care.
Hey, guys. Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.
Hey, guys. Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hi, everyone. Team member Mark Sheeran here. Are you or someone you know struggling with a drug or alcohol problem, but you don't want to go to rehab or 12-step meetings? Well, that's exactly why we created our non-12-step Freedom Model Coaching Program. In our program, you can be coached by me and Michelle Dunbar through our in-house 2-day addiction solution workshop, or if you want to stay home, you can be coached through video conferencing on Zoom. Both options are powerful and proven effective. We've personally coached more than 27,000 people over the last 34 years. With the Freedom Model, you won't have any record of being treated for an addiction either. This is a huge benefit for those with professional licenses, or who are high profile, or simply who have a lot to lose with such a damaging label. If you're ready to change your life and solve your addiction for good, call me directly at 888-424-2626 and set up your free 30-minute coaching session today. I look forward to helping you. And here's that number again, 888-424-2626. Take care.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.